What's up, fam? So 2025 is coming to an end, and for a lot of people, like myself, we take time to really reflect, on what what the year was, what we could have done better, what we could have improved on, but also just to, think about the good times. You see all those people, like on reels and like, oh, 2025 is coming to an end, and they put videos of things they've done, and some have been high, some have been low. But for me, it's definitely a time that I like to do every year, right? I'm just putting it on camera right now. But before I was, hopping on the camera right now, I had my laptop out, I have my tablet as well. So I'm taking some notes and just re-reflecting, right? If you're watching this past, the first, of January 2026, then never mind. But when it's coming out, um, I try to really reflect and see what the year looked like. There's highs, there's lows, and how you can improve for the next year. Yeah, and when I think about it, it's been a pretty amazing year, right? Those that are really in the circle understand that it's been an interesting year. It's been quite the journey. Definitely close some chapters, open up some new ones, and I'm excited for 2026. I really, really am. But and this came in a conversation that I had with some friends the other day of maybe, right? It wasn't meant to destroy you, it was meant to develop you. Yeah. And I've said it before, but sometimes we go through some things, right? We go through situations, we go through some heartbreaks, loss of a job, maybe lost someone special to you, someone close, maybe fell out of a relationship, whatever it might be. And we're thinking like that was the thing that took us out, right? That's gonna be the thing that knocked us out, of course. That's the thing that ended us. And it might have been the worst thing ever, right? And I'm not gonna downplay it and pretend like I know everyone's stuff here. But I get it. We've all been in situations where we think this is the end. But if you're watching this, something is pretty evident, or at least it should be pretty evident to you. You got through it. Yeah? You thought that was going to take you out, but it didn't. You're here now. Now, I'm not saying you need to be completely, refreshed and completely healed from it, but it didn't stop you, right? You kept on going. And you might be thinking, well, Rodz, man, like, I'm at the brink. I'm like at no percent. I'm just running on fumes, but you're still running, right? You might still be figuring it out, but you're still moving forward. You're still figuring it out. You're still actively getting after it. So I just want that to be a type of encouragement for you because it tried to destroy you, but it couldn't, right? And another thing and I was telling this to a friend of mine like a few minutes ago, you're good at doing hard things, right? If you went to college, let's say, right, you finish high school, you're thinking, oh my gosh, college, such a far away thing. It's 4 years of my life. What am I going to do with that? But then you finished it and you got your bachelor's and whatever field it might be. Let's say you want to go into the military. You thought, oh man, I'm going to go into the military and bootcamp's going to be super rough. But then you finished it. And now you're over, now you're through it. Maybe you're still in high school, right? And maybe you're a freshman watching this. You're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do next? And like, how can I figure this out? Well, you're going to get there, right? You didn't start off running. You learned how to slowly crawl, then walk a little faster, then jog, then run. Yeah? Same thing with life. And it might seem like it's this monumental thing we have to get over, but don't downplay the victories you've already done before. Yeah? Don't think that, just because you've already surpassed one thing, it negates that you've already surpassed it, right? You got over that hill. You got over that mountain. What's to stop you from doing it again for this next one? Well, Rodz, man, you don't understand. Like this is different. This is a bigger thing. You thought that before, right? Well, Rodz, man, you don't know when. Because let's say, I've never been divorced before. Let's say we'll put that one. All right, cool, right? A lot of people haven't. And unfortunately, that it's 50-50 that to a certain degree, but you're going to get through it, right? You don't know that maybe that whole process is what's going to strengthen you for that next step in your life, right? Maybe, losing that job at that place was the push that you needed to go to open up your own business. Maybe breaking up with that person was the detachment you needed to really find yourself and really heal from things that maybe you were bothered with and had to deal with from your childhood, right? Now, I'm not saying that this is just like a blanket statement of like, oh, you went through for a reason. Sometimes life just sucks. To be honest with you, sometimes life just sucks, but it's in us and it's on us to make the most out of that situation, right? It's to go and really realize that if we just keep on going and don't stop and don't quit, eventually it's going to plan out. Eventually it's going to work out. Eventually it's going to all come into place, right? And for me, at least, the thought of being stuck in something, right, is let's put it, be blatant and be blunt with it. It's terrifying to think that I'm gonna go through something and not learn from it, right? Not get better even a little bit. I'm not saying you have to go and you failed at something, now you're figuring out the world's problems, but you learned, okay, hey, you know what? I can do hard things, right? You were looking for a job, let's say, right? You went, you left the company to open up your own business, and it's a struggle, right? And I get it. Trust me, as a business owner, it is definitely something that it sounds great from the outside. You see all the great things, all the luxuries, the nice things you can get after, and it is beautiful. I don't regret that whatsoever. But there's certain steps you have to understand that people see the nice shiny part, but they don't understand the hours of editing, the hours you're putting in, for your nursing degree, for your doctorate degree, for whatever it might be. They don't see the hours in the gym. You're going shooting free throws, to go for the championship game. They don't see you in the batting cages. They don't see you at the ice rink. They don't see you, whatever it might be for an instrument. The hours upon hours that you're practicing by yourself. They don't see the self-doubt, right? And that might not be the coolest and sexiest thing to say, but there's times where we doubt ourselves and we're like, am I even good enough for this? Like, what's even the point? Right? And ironically, as this might sound, it was from a movie from Adam Sandler that he says obsession beats talent every single time. Right? You might be naturally talented at something, but those of us that are obsessed with it, right, that we just know that, man, I love what I'm doing. I love what I want to get to. Like the goal that I have, I love it so much. I'm going to do everything I can to get to that. Yeah. There's people that are just naturally talented at certain things, at singing, at at dancing, at sports, at just super smart, naturally, whatever it might be, right? And there's other people, maybe it takes them a little longer. But I guarantee you, the people that takes them a little longer, they put in enough reps that when it gets hard for everybody, they're like, oh, I've done this before. I've been here in these situations before. I've been in these places where, you know what, I didn't get it right the first time, the second time, maybe even the 12th time, but that 13th time I got it. Right? So when you're just so involved and you're just so committed and you're just so, like I said, like the quote says, like, when you're so obsessed with it, and I don't mean obsessed, like, you think like, oh my gosh, like I need to do everything super, super right. Everything should be perfect. No, there's times where you just have to go, and just understand that, hey, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be amazing from off the get-go. You're not going to be amazing at this from the start. You're just going to have to pan out. It's going to take some time. But when oh, you know what? Hey, let's say we use a simple, thing that I use right here, right? Hey, I'm going to be the best at editing. All right, cool. But upload the video. You're going to get better and better. Take some go on YouTube, check out some little courses, ask a friend, ask the questions. And then before you know it, you start seeing, okay, hold on, I'm getting better at this. Okay, you know what? I'm getting faster. I'm, making my transitions are better. Whatever it might be, I'm using this field because this is what I do a lot. But like anything else, let's say, you're learning a new skill. You're learning how to play the guitar. At first, the strings are going to be kind of a little different, right? You're going to be kind of weird. Your hands are going to be cramping up, whatever. But after a while, right? A week into it, a month into it, a year into it, you're like, oh, well, these little things that I thought were just so astronomically hard, that's my simple. That's my warm-up now. Right? Same thing with the gym. You start going to the gym, coming up on January and wants to start, new year, new me. Cool. How about we rebuild what we have right now and get better? Yeah. But for me, it's definitely a moment of self-reflection and realizing that, hey, you know what? Like there's a part of me that I need to keep on filling, right? There's a part of me that when it's just me, my pillow, or the man and the woman in the mirror, I need to believe in that person, right? That I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to understand that it's a process and it takes time. And in that timing, we sometimes getting impatient because, it's not happening the way, it happened for so-and-so. It happened for them in 3 months. All right, well, maybe it takes you 3 years and it doesn't sound attractive, right? This does not sound like, oh my gosh, like, Rodz, what are you talking about? Like, no, you should be motivating me. I am. But I also need to understand that I'm going to pair it this way. There's a quote that it says like, oh, what was the best and worst advice you ever got? And the worst advice was, hey, be realistic. The best advice is what happens if you could turn out better than you ever expected, right? And a lot of times we think, oh, I need to be realistic, man. I'll never get out of this, right? I'll never get out of debt. I'll never, add whatever you want to do there. But what if it comes out better than you expected, right? What if the moment you let go, oh, come on. What if, right, we're out here just compromising our own goals and who we are as a person because we're so used to certain things, certain trauma, certain just pain and hurt that we allow ourselves to think, hey, you know what, this is the best it's going to be. What if it gets better, right? What if what you're thinking is falling short of what's actually going to happen in your life, right? What if the plan that God has for your life is so massive and what you're looking at it and what you're complaining about, like, oh man, but this is the best I can get. If you let go of that and then realize that God has such a bigger dream for you, that his dreams are God-sized. You understand that, right? That his dream for you, his goal for you is to live out his plan for you. And maybe you're thinking, oh, you know what? I just want to go and get out of debt. Well, what if God wants you to be, a multi-millionaire? What if he wants you to be a billionaire? Right? You're not thinking, oh, I just want to, pay off my car. All right, cool. How about you buy 9 cars? And I'm not saying go buy 9 cars, but I'm saying is like, don't sell yourself short, right? Maybe maybe the fear of that new thing is stopping you from reaching that level that you want so bad. Yeah. I'll say that again. Maybe that fear of letting go of what's familiar, of what you're used to, what you're accustomed to. And I've said this before, just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's fruitful, right? Because we hold on to that sometimes and we think that, oh, I've had this before. This is just something I've always done I've always done before. This is just the way I've always done. This is the way I've always felt. This is the way people have always treated me. But what if you're meant to break that chain? What if you're meant to go and be that person that puts people on assignment of this isn't going to happen again, that I'm not going to let you do what you've done before, like what you did with me last year, what you do with me, in my past life. No, I'm going to put you on notice. I'm going to put you on recognition of like, hey, we're not doing that anymore. This is going to be my boundary. And you set that boundary and you stick to it. Yeah. For me, it is interesting that we assume, that just because it's been like that before, it has to be the same. Now, if it's something bad, obviously, let's switch that up. And if something good, keep on going. But sometimes we fall into this complacency of, well, you know what? This is just the best I got. Well, it's always been this way. Oh, but it's a scary move. Just because it's scary, and I've said this to so many of my friends, and I've had to say to myself too, you're good at doing hard things. You're good at doing scary things. And once you understand that it might be scary, and it might be hard, but you got it. You're going to make it happen. You're going to make it work. You're going to come out on top of that. You're going to come out through and you're going to come out winning, not just surviving, right? Because there's one thing to survive, and there's another thing to thrive. And I'm declaring that over your life, that as you go into this next season of your life, you're not just going to survive into this new season. You're going to thrive in this new season. You're going to move, you're going to move with just such power and grace and strength and discernment and boldness that you're going to step into 2026 and maybe not even realize who you really are. You're going to be like, hold on, what is this? What is this new feeling I'm doing? I'm walking with this new swag. I'm walking with this new energy. I'm moving, I'm just moving differently, right? And that's what I want for you guys to understand, that once you want it for yourself, the rest falls in line, right? When you start saying, you know what, I want this for my life, other people that might not want that, you start realizing, hold on, you don't want the same thing I want. So what am I keeping you in this circle for, right? And I heard this quote, and I have to pull up my phone for this one, but it was just phenomenal. And it says, you're not responsible for their consequences. You did your best, right? You showed them what they needed to do. You showed them who they need to be in your life. You showed them what you're bringing to the table. It is not on you. It is not your responsibility that because they couldn't do that, the consequences is them losing out on you. Yeah, I'll say that one more time. You're not responsible for their consequences. Just because you set boundaries and they couldn't match up to that, they couldn't live up to that, that does not land on you. You set a pace, you set a boundary, you set a standard. If they can't do that, the consequences is them losing out on you, and that is not on you. You did your best. Yeah, I want to liberate you from, maybe even thinking that, hey, it's on me, that I should have been better, I should have been stronger, I should have listened more, I should have tried something different. You did everything you could, and they still messed up, and they still fumbled you. That's not on you. Yeah, I want to liberate you from that. If you did everything you could, and mind you, I'm talking about you did everything. Not like, oh, I could have done more. No, you did everything. You were patient, you were listening, you did everything you could do, and they still couldn't match up. They still couldn't listen to what you're saying. That's not on you. Yeah, because a lot of times we go and we think, oh, I could have done more, or I could have listened more, I could have been more patient, and there are times that, yeah, maybe we could have done all those things. But if you are now burning yourself, all right, just to make other people feel comfortable, right, you're losing yourself because other people don't like what you bring to the table. Then my friend, my brother, my sister, get it from that table. Because there are people in your life that are waiting for you to come to their table, or they're waiting for you to show up and join your table. right? I talked about that before, and like that's why I actually have a section called At the Table, because there are times where we're here pouring ourselves out into people's lives. We're here just pouring ourselves and losing ourselves and even burning ourselves to the core of this, like not even recognizing who we once were. For what? For people that are just going to give you the breadcrumbs, right? There's a guy following on TikTok named Joshua. They said, don't allow yourself to be breadcrumbed. And when I heard that, I was like, that's so true, right? People are offering you a full plate and you're out here just being okay with breadcrumbs, and let's not do that, right? Let's not go into 2026 thinking that this is all we got, that this is the best we're going to do. No, let's go into 2026 knowing and believing that, hey, we want more, that we deserve more, right? You are more. That's what I want to leave you guys with. And I know this might have been a little bit of a lengthier video than I really want to do, but I felt it needs to be talked about. I feel like it needs to be said because there are things in our lives that if we don't grab onto, if we don't set the standard, if we don't set the pace, if we don't set the levels now, right? Years are going to go by and we're going to be like, oh man, I missed out. And unfortunately, this might be a little tough and kind of, in a rough way to end this video. But if that happens, like you have no one to blame but you, right? You allowed yourself to do that. And, oh man, but Rodz, I didn't know. You didn't know, right? You knew better, but you decided not to. Right? Now, if you didn't know, right? If you didn't know that person was abusive, you didn't know that person was going to lie to you, obviously there's things like that. But you knew, right? Because you saw not just the words they're saying, we started noticing patterns. And the moment you would bring something up, they get defensive and they fight you on it, or you want to like grow on something like, oh, let's not do that. Or, oh, come on, let's be realistic. You start seeing these patterns. They're not listening to you. You're telling them, hey, I'm feeling this, and that. And they're not being there. And they're not being supportive. They're not being understanding. And you're not doing anything about that. My brothers and my sisters, like, you got to understand, like, this one lands on you. Like, you got to take that power back and be like, hey, you know what? Nah, like, I care about you. You're someone special to me. And, I thought we could make this happen. I thought we could make this work, whether it's a business, a company, a personal thing, whatever. But, my life is too valuable. I have too much worth to jeopardize where I want to go, right? We can't sell ourselves short just because people can't afford us. And that might sound bougie. That might sound rude. Like, oh, come on, Rodz. But, like, you have to know your worth. Understand that, hey, you know what? I am going places. I want to go places. I'd love for you to come with me. But if you can't, then it is what it is. Like, there's no, no love lost, no hurt here, but like nothing personal. But hey, I'm out. Yeah. And now you apply that for all things. And it might sound like, oh man, Rod, you're being like super strict and super like, aggressive and abrasive. But like at the end of the day, I'm the one that's looking at myself in the mirror. I'm the one that has to look back and see my dreams not being accomplished because I made a decision not to make myself better, not to go and do that hard thing, not to do that scary thing. And I refuse to allow myself, and I would refuse to think that I don't deserve it. Right. And I want that for you guys. I want you to understand that you deserve everything you're asking for. You deserve everything, you're striving for, that dream, that goal, bring those visions into reality. All those things, you deserve it. Right. You're putting the work in. You are valuable, and understand that. Yeah. Understand that everything you bring to the table is amazing. You are an amazing person. You are someone that can be loved. You are someone that needs to be, that could be cherished. You are someone that's going to be an amazing husband, an amazing wife, an amazing, parent. You are everything and then some. And if people can't realize that, then they gotta miss out on you, right? It is what it is. Like, I'm gonna hold the door for you and like, hey, come on through. Like, you want to join the party? Let's go. But if not, then cool. Like, that's understandable too. Like, you can exit my life the same way, because you have to cherish who you are and understand that once you protect you, the rest of us falling in line. And now you start adding a family in there. I'm going to protect my family. I'm going to protect my friend group. You start understanding that. Then now you start becoming exactly what you said you're going to be. I want to be that entrepreneur. I want to be that nurse. I want to be that doctor. I want to be that parent, right? A lot of times people, like, they have these massive lofty goals, but sometimes like, I want to be a dad. I want to be a mom. And that's phenomenal. It's a great thing. Yes, do that. That's not something like, oh yeah, I just want to have a kid. No, like, that's something amazing, right? Like, just like a career, just like having a kid, just having a home. These are all amazing, great things. So then do it. Yeah. Like, that's what you want to leave with you guys with, is understand your value, understand your worth. If people can't show up after all the things you've done, after all the things you've shown them that they could be doing in your life to add to your life, if they can't show up, then it's all right, man. Hey, let them fumble you. Let them miss out on you, because you're worthy of so much more. So act like it. Yeah, I love you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you miss any of these videos, any of these talks. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. I want to end the year off, with something like this. And yeah, it's going to be a great year. I'm excited for what's coming. I'm excited what's coming for Vision Media, for Talk to Rodz, for the podcast, for the more videos like this. And I guarantee you guys that it's gonna be a wild ride, but it's gonna be a great ride. So hop on, come on the journey with me, and let's make things happen. Yeah, love you guys. Stay safe, and as always, make it the best day ever. See you on the next one, and see y'all next year.